This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist, coming to you from my art studio. This is hammer time, baby. Every morning I come to you guys with a little video, with a little push, a little kick in the rear. Hammer time. Every morning I do a video where I talk to you guys about, hey, you know what? Keep your hustle right. Keep at it. Work hardy. Hardy party, baby. Hey, today is no different. Today's no different. Hammer time is hammer time, baby. Hammer time is the time when we talk about getting the mindset right, getting your local right, you know, getting that place where we're like, oh, I can't paint today. I don't feel like painting. Well, paint. I don't feel like creating art. Oh my God, come on. You know you can create art. Hammer time is the moment where I talk to you guys about, look, if your mindset is not right, if your mindset is not in the right place, you will not be able to reach your artistic goals, your artistical goals. It's everything's got to do, help me hustle. I love that. Help me hustle, help me hustle. Everything's got to do with your mindset, guys. I'm always hearing artists saying stuff like, man, how do I get a gallery? How do I get a gallery exhibit? The very first thing that crosses my mind is how is your mindset? How is your mindset? Do you believe you can do it? You know, I know it sounds cliche, but if you don't believe you can't do it, it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do. It's like when you were dating, you know, when you were younger, you know, I don't know, maybe you're still dating, I don't know, asking a person out. Right, you're at a bar or whatever, and you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. That's because you feel, you don't feel so great about yourself. Otherwise, you would know what to say. You'd be like, hey, you over there, come sit over here. I'm buying you a beer. I used to do this kind of shit. At the very least, I got their attention. But, you know, it's because you don't feel good about yourself. So you need to figure out how to feel good about yourself. I don't know what I'm doing, LOL. I need this. I love that. I think we all need it. I need this time. I need hammer time, baby. Hammer time is party time. Party time. So it really has to do with how you feel about yourself. It has everything to do with how you feel about yourself. The whole thing is self-belief. Now, it's very difficult to believe in yourself. As an artist, it's very difficult to believe in yourself if you're not accumulating wins. Remember I talked to you guys about the wins? If you're not accumulating wins, it's very difficult to believe in yourself. Let me turn the air on. Because what's going to happen is that your certainty, remember I talked to you guys about everything is certainty? The whole game is certainty. What's going to happen is that you're going to start feeling like there is no reason to show up. I mean, if you're losing at the game, quote-unquote losing, this is not the ultimate thing, of course, but if you're quote-unquote losing at the game, you won't have a reason to show up. You're going to be like, no, fuck this. Why would I want to show up to an art studio or to be an artist if I'm not winning? I'm not winning at it, you know? Maybe you're in the place right now, by the way, you're always in some sort of transition, but maybe you're in a place where you want to create artwork. If you don't have a system, a discipline, where every day you dedicate a few, I don't know, hours or whatever, a couple of hours or an hour to creating artwork, by the end of the month, you're going to be like, oh, no, F this. Like, it doesn't work. I don't want to do it. You know? Same thing if you want to sell artwork and you don't have a system, you will need strategy. If you have hustle but no strategy, you may be suffering the consequences of outworking yourself in a place where it's not scalable. Okay? It's not scalable. A lot of people try to do the whole scaling thing. I know because it happened to me. I'll give you an example. Oh my God, if I just paint this great painting, right? This is what most artists say. If I just make this great painting that everybody thinks ooh and ah about it, and I make a print of it, I make thousands of prints, I'm going to sell it like hotcakes. This is what artists say, okay? I know because because it happened to me. Way. And what happens is that you're trying to scale something that is not scalable yet. A better question to ask ourselves would be, oh my God, right? If I create connections, if I create relationships, whatever you want to call them, if I create a tribe of people, if I go and help people so that they are ready to listen to me, okay, so that I can communicate with them. It's not just one way. I go and I give something, they listen. When I'm ready to go communicate something, they're going to be listening to me. If I do that, then maybe, okay, the word is maybe, I can scale that. I can make this tribe bigger. When I make this tribe bigger, then the sales will come. Okay? Now, that's one way of doing that. Okay? That's the whole getting yourself an audience, which is extremely important right now. The whole thing is getting yourself an audience. How's it going, Linda? Lydia. Linda, yeah. If I do this gig, the whole audience building, it's a much more intelligent way of doing it if you are able to go get the audience first, as opposed to, I'm going to go do prints and then sell them like hotcakes. Most artists, tell themselves this thing. Here's the other thing. Oh, sorry. Here's the other thing, guys. If you go and you put yourself in a place where there's already people and you try to scale, you will be scratching your head and be like, my God, why am I not selling my artwork? If there's thousands of people walking around, like, I don't know, Etsy, eBay, Amazon, right? There's thousands of people, tens of thousands, I don't know, maybe even millions of people there all the time, ready to purchase stuff. Why aren't they purchasing my stuff? I'm going to tell you why. You're not bringing value to them. Value is very important, okay? Number one, they're not seeing you. Number one. And number two, if they're seeing you, there's not enough value for them to make a decision, for them to purchase. For example, here's another scale the unscalable. I see a lot of artists posting stuff on Etsy all the time, right? I haven't done Etsy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't do Etsy. I haven't done it. I posted a few things there, but I'm going hard this year on it. I'm hiring a couple of people to help me, and we're going to go hard. However, I've done eBay, and I've done it pretty well. And one of the things that I've seen is that people put stuff, like on Etsy, I've seen that. They put stuff, and then they're hoping to sell it, right? They put a lot of stuff, weird stuff, all kinds of stuff, and they're hoping to sell it. And my question is always, why would you try to double up on something if the first one didn't sell? If the first one didn't sell, why would you go and try to put 5 more just like it? So the people may be looking at you, but it's not scalable. This is a huge miss by artists. I see this all the time. I used to do this myself. From time to time, if I'm not careful, I still do that, and I have to snap out of it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you trying to scale the unscalable? This happens a lot with artists. Oh, by the way, I got help in my studio. I got new people. Yeah. Hello. Buenos dias.
Saw you outside, Sonic.
I gotta introduce you. You ready to be introduced? Yeah? Hey guys, this is Megan.
Good morning.
She's super awesome, and she is a new member of the art studio. Yeah. So, scaling the unscalable, guys. It's always a problem with artists. It's always a challenge. We try to scale beforehand. For example, here's another example of trying to scale something that can't be scaled. Okay? Here's another example. If you go and you take your artwork to an art show, right? And the damn thing, like nothing sold, and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this 10 times more. Well, hold on. Like, I'm not against it, but you got to figure out what you can do in order to sell first, so that you can start scaling it, so that you can produce more. And many times what we do is we try to go, I hope I'm making any sense here. This is a little bit more higher end sales. Instead of trying to see how can I repeat this many times, AKA the art print, the art show. Many people say, I have many art shows, but no sales. You're trying to scale something that is not scalable. First, you got to find out what people want. What do people like? What do people want? And you got to be true to yourself too. You can't just be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try to see people like, I don't know, paintings of this. And if that's not something you do, if that's not like, it's not your thing, then maybe it's worth exploring, but it doesn't mean that you go and completely change your system or the way you paint or this or that. It doesn't necessarily mean that. What it does mean is that you have to figure out if people love the way you create colors, right? But you're trying to paint black and white and scale that. This happens a lot to artists. They're trying to look for almost schemy little things, I'm going to find out what people want. And I'm going to do a lot of it. And so you end up with maybe a lot of inventory, or you end up with a lot of like feeling sour, feeling like, oh, the gallery thing doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or that doesn't work. And what I've discovered is because you didn't start out small. You didn't figure out first dial in what's working, and then double up on that. I'm gonna give you an example. For example, one of the people that I was working with on Facebook advertisements, told me this. Look, dude, try different ads, but only spend $5-10 a day on each one. You could try 10 a day if you want to. You could try 20 if you want to. I don't know, depending on your budget. And he told me, start out with 2 or 3 of them. Spend $15 a day and test them. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Test different photographs, different messages. And he's like, the one that works, double up on that. And I was like, dude, I've been doing this with other parts of my business. I didn't know that business works the same all around. When he told me this about Facebook, it made so much sense. Do you like painting wine glasses? Totally. I like painting all kinds of cool stuff. So when he told me this, I was like, dude, that makes total sense. Like, that's okay. That's an example. If you're gonna scale something that it worked, right? Don't go and just spend $100 on Facebook ads and be like, oh man, that didn't work. No, you went and you put $100 or $1,000 on Facebook ads. But you don't figure out what worked. Whatever is working, you want to go deposit. More energy in there. I mean, duh, right? It's common sense, but many times we miss this. For example, if there's a painting that people love that you painted, right? You can go show the same painting to another crowd. Or you can create that painting again, wait a couple of months, and create that painting again, show it to the same crowd. Because it's something that works, right? It's something that works. Many times what we do is that we're like, oh, no, I painted this already, I'm not going to do this again. Or I'm going to make a bunch of the same paintings and see what happens. And what if nobody wants a bunch of those paintings? What if you love painting, I don't know, whatever, pick a theme. And the crowd that you're showing it to doesn't want it. They don't like it. They don't care about it. Or maybe you sell one, but you don't sell the other 99. I like this business advice. Oh, thank you so much. Very cool. So anyways, guys, the message this morning is, look, don't try to scale the unscalable. Okay? Here's another little example of scaling the unscalable before I log off here. It happens a lot on social media too, where people are like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna do an autoresponder, and like a Hootsuite or something like that. I'm gonna do an autoresponder, and I'm gonna be just puking content all day Dude, but if people don't like it, if people are not resonating with you, they're going to consider it spam. Spam. This is the same thing that when I'm coaching artists, they ask me this thing, dude. Why are you spending so much time doing videos and lives and this kind of what I'm doing right now, as opposed to doing the thing that works for your business? And the reason is because I see the numbers. I see that if I do videos, I'm able to go deeper with a few people, as opposed to just put a photograph. A lot of people like it, a lot of people share it, but I don't really go deep with them. The message doesn't get across. So I'd rather spend 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes with someone one-on-one and try to scale that way. This is it's not popular. It's not a very popular way of doing things. Most people just want to have a button that they press and then it repeats and it repeats and it repeats, and like the print thing for artists. Like, I'm gonna make a print and I'm gonna sell thousands of them. Yeah, dude, but what if first of all there's not who thousands? Do you have thousands of people? You have an audience of hundreds of thousands of people? If you don't have the audience, there's not even a remote possibility of that happening. And number two, do those thousands of people like them? Like that print? Because if they don't, you're probably going to sell 2 or 3 pieces of that. I know, because I've done this before, guys. This is they're very common mistakes that we make, because we when we get excited about something, there's a sense of this possibility comes into our minds, but we neglect realities. We neglect, certain realities. I work with some artists who are like, dude, I went and I spent $1,000 on prints. Who remembers the old print days where you couldn't do print on demand, that you actually had to go and spend $5,000? I know I spent $4,000 on a print run when I was younger. All had to be thrown away, right? Because nobody bought it. Who bought it? I only sold a couple of dozen of those, because that's how you used to do it back then, right? It wasn't print on demand like today. You could do, if someone buys something, you can go and have it printed. A few years back, I'm not old, but a few years back, you couldn't do that. You couldn't go have print on demand. If you wanted to sell prints, you would have to make a real investment. And so I saw a lot of artists do that, including myself. And again, trying to scale something that shouldn't be scaled yet, right? It's a better way of doing that is to go visit pockets of people and offer 1 print or offer 2 prints. So maybe say I have a run of 1 or 5 or 1 or 10 prints, and try to sell that and see how that works. Nobody buys it. It might be that you didn't show it to enough people, number 1, or number 2, it might be that you show it to enough people, but no one cared about it. Okay. If the price is higher, you might need to show it to more than a few thousand people if you have a higher price point. And the higher the price point, the more skill set you need. The more people you need, the more skill set you need to know how to sell it. You need to know how to present the product, right? The lower the price point, the easier it flies out, and the less skill you need. Really, you just need a crowd of people. The lower the price point, the less people you will need to show it to. So, there it is, guys. Yeah, that's right. The best engagement to have is one-on-one with your audience and no hidden agendas. That is the best way of doing it. The best way of doing it is to let people, be as transparent as possible. Let people know what you're doing. Let people know what you're doing. What is the intention? For example, when I'm ready to pitch something and I'm ready to sell something, I start from the beginning, right? This is something that I learned from a mentor. From the beginning, I'm like, my intention is to show you guys this and to sell you guys this. Because that way there is no, you had me here for 2 hours and then you pitch something. And what if you're ready to buy it? What if you're ready to buy something and all I'm doing is just making the process longer? That happens a lot too. There's many times that I've gone to a store or I've gone somewhere, and then the salesperson or the whatever you want to call them, we'll go through the whole presentation, and I'm like, dude, I'm ready to buy it. You actually suckered me out of the sale because of your long presentation. So that's a whole other thing, guys. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. This is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Take care, guys, and go get it. I don't know. There's different ways of doing this. It's not just my way, guys. There's different ways of doing this. I've seen some people do really well with simply doing demos, right? They're showing their artwork. They're doing little demos, little painting demos. There's many ways of doing it, but I wouldn't stick to one. If you stick to one is the loneliest number. I wouldn't stick to one. The idea of scaling one by one makes a lot of sense. It's really the only way of doing it, guys. If you try to scale at large numbers, it's going to be very difficult. You want to be scaling one by one. It's the whole thing of scaling large is for one of my early artist mentors said, Prince, right? Scaling to Prince is for big artists, like big name, right? And nowadays, you don't have to have a big name, but you do have to have a big audience. You'll see this. Artists who have 100,000, 1 million followers on Instagram, they're the ones selling the prints. If you have 1,000 followers, you're gonna have a hard time selling prints. That's why I don't get into the print. I go directly to the original work. I do some print, but I know that I can't scale it right now. So, for different reasons, right? There's different reasons to it, but the main one is that you need a huge audience. This is why artists do so well when they get licensed by someone like Target or one of those big box stores, because then they scale it out to many locations. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.